Let me transfer you.
Switch to Farm Bureau Insurance today and get real service instead of getting really tangled up. For auto, home, life, and health, get the membership advantage. Get Farm Bureau Insurance.
Yeah, Elon University, very very good school. We as I said, we played them our first game last year, but that was a lot of games ago. Know that they're 9-2. They lost against Wake Forest, and they also lost against App State, which everybody knows is an FCS perennial power. Very good team though. The quarterback Riddle is a guy that's been there for a while. Can throw the ball. He's got a strong arm. I think he averages about almost 300 yards per game passing. The wide receiver Hudgens is, I tell you what, he's like Randy Moss type receiver. Can go up and get the ball, very athletic. Of the 22 touchdowns that Riddle has thrown, he's got 15 of them. So he's definitely a go-to guy for him. So we're going to have to make sure that that we have our coverages in place and be in position, because I've seen plays where he's thrown the ball up and guys gone up and got it over 2-3 guys hanging on him. So it'll be the challenge, but I think we'll be up for the challenge.
Thank you, Coach London. I can't think of a pitch-catch combination you faced this year that's like this. You've played good teams, but they just don't seem to emphasize this sort of thing, and I'm wondering if that's going to take some adjustment to deal with these two guys.
Well, I think what it'll take is just heightening the awareness of the players. We always try to figure out, the who and the what. And obviously the who is the quarterback and and Hudgens the receiver. And what does he do? He catches the ball extremely well, and it's noticeable that he has over 100 catches, and the next receiver I think is in maybe the 40s or low 30s. So it's something that we'll have to be aware of and know where he's aligned at all times, because as I said, you watch film, he could be covered, and the quarterback will still throw him the ball, and he'll still come down and make plays with it. So there is an awareness of where he is, but also, what we have to do and try to minimize, his effect on the game.
Thank you. Coach, that was your first game as a head coach last year. Do you remember a lot from that game, or was it one of those ones that kind of flew by because it was your first game as a head coach?
No, you always, that was the first one, so you always remember the first one. And I know that as we went down and we played the game, the way it unfolded, that there's some long runs. Jordan Mitchell caught a long pass. Josh Vaughn had a long run, and I think we played well defensively. So it's the same team basically. We did the scouting reports last year, and you look at the same names that you see again. So it'll be basically the same kind of team, even though it's a new year. Personnel-wise, some of those names you remember from last year, they're bigger, faster, stronger. So I'm quite sure that they would probably look at this game as a rematch opportunity.
Mike, with the success of the last few years here, could you speak to the speed that's on this roster, and maybe the different recruiting focuses in terms of places that the University of Richmond has had in the last few years compared to when you were here, compared to when Coach Reed was here? You got Florida guys, you got Texas guys, you got some Atlanta area guys, and how much that has played into what you're doing.
Well, I think you always have to be aware of your skilled athletes and where they come from. And we also have some Tidewater guys too, so I think that's important. We are very conscious when we recruit young men now that we want to see what else they played, basketball or track, and a lot of them we've recruited have run track, and we want to look at the times, the 100 meter times, and see if they long jump, because there's a correlation, but long jumping in terms of explosiveness. So our guys this spring, Trey Gray, Tremaine Graham. Those guys, they ran for our track team, and then they did a pretty good job. Kevin Grayson. So, speed kills, and everybody knows that. And if you saw Tremaine Graham a couple weeks ago return a kickoff 94 yards. Also got an interception and ran it back, and got an interception last week. So when you have speed on the field and you're playing fast, those players give you an added boost or an added advantage. So we're going to always try to find that kind of talent, that can run away from you and sometimes can run out of trouble. So we're going to continue to keep looking that way.
Mike, football players and coaches are creatures of habit. You're out of your routine this week. I'm sure Elon is too. Is there an intangible advantage to experience having done this before the past couple of years that you're going through and understand what this week is like?
I would say so, Bob. I'd say so from the standpoint that this is last year's schedule that we had, and talking to the players, that it was agreeable to them because school was out yesterday, so now it's just us and some of the other teams that are still in season that are here. But the routine of practicing, changing the practice times, sometimes can be a challenge for you. But I think these players more than anything have been very resilient and very accepting and accommodating of the things that we've asked of them. This is a different week. We'll practice here earlier than what we've done in the past. Tomorrow morning we'll practice early in the morning to give the guys a chance to go home and that are local to have Thanksgiving dinner. Guys that can't go home, we're going to have some players that are local that are going to take those guys and take them into their homes and share a meal with them. So we're going to try to take care of them as much as we can without disrupting a lot of things, but try to keep some normalcy of enjoying time with coaches and friends, family members, and then do a regular Friday routine and then play the game on Saturday.
This team's been great at focusing week in and week out. Do you at all address that, hey, last week was an emotional high, there's a lot of attaboys and pat on the backs probably still being thrown their way, that they've had to refocus? Did you see it at practice yesterday? Do you have to address it at all with them?
I don't think so. I know, one of the goals we had was to have a winning record. Another one was to win a conference championship, and those goals have been achieved. Now there's other goals that are still left out there. I think the players understand that now you're into a situation where you're one and done. If you win, you keep playing. If you lose, then it's over. So the focus is, if you want to keep winning, then you want to get to that pinnacle again, then you have to focus in on what's going on. We had a good practice yesterday. I think the routine of practice, these guys understand the routine of practice and what we're doing, how we practice. There hasn't been any letdown with effort or energy. There's a lot of energy out there yesterday. There'll be a lot of energy today. We know what's at stake. So I think, we're going to play hopefully our best game to date as we face Elon.